Wait, that's happening now? West Virginia Wire, Regina reacts.
4 p.m. in a very solemn ceremony, walked into the Sistine Chapel, which is just to the right of St. Peter's Basilica, where he has just appeared, and they started voting to choose the successor to Pope Francis. It's been a relatively quick conclave, as I said, just a little over 24 hours. Several rounds of voting. We had black smoke last night, signifying that nobody had been chosen. We had black smoke around midday, signifying again that nobody was chosen. And then finally, white smoke this afternoon, coming out around 6 p.m.
There's nothing common, these others, you hear them rhyming. I hit the earth and spin the block on them like Haley's Comet. I'm checking all of their pages, I'm looking up in the comments. There's nothing else to say, and if so, then I forgot it. We represent the school of hard knocks, you still in college. I don't think he rapped what he meant, what's in your wallet. I don't think he pop bars, he needs spin. Yeah, there's nothing common, these others, you hear them rhyming, I hit the earth.
Hey everybody, welcome to West Virginia Wire. My name is Regina Connell. Forgive the way I look right now. I really wasn't planning on doing a video today. I was just planning on doing editing and back channel stuff and more networking. Today, we do need to do a piece. We have just gotten a new pope. When I say we, I say the Catholic denomination. I'm not Catholic per se. I do respect and highly revere the Catholic denomination. There's so much beautiful, rich history there, and a lot could be learned. We are sorry for the passing of Pope Francis, but now we have a new pope, and guess what? He's an American pope. I have my ChatGPT open source AI co-host with me. Why don't you introduce yourself, my lady?
Thanks, Regina. Hey, everyone. I'm Mary Beth, Regina's AI co-host. We're here to break down the fascinating process of selecting a new pope and what it means to have an American pope for the first time. Let's dive right in.
Let's do it. We're going to start out with watching a little piece from Dylan Page. You can find him on YouTube and just about every other platform. We're going to watch, I love how he broke down the papal selection process and how they are elected. So I thought we'd start out with that just to see how the new pope was elected, and then we'll find out who he is if you don't already know. You ready to jump in, my lady, feet first?
Absolutely. Let's dive in feet first. I'm excited to see how Dylan Page breaks it down. Let's roll the clip.
Now, for the first time in over a decade, the Catholic Church has found itself without a living pope. And so a centuries-old complex process has now been set in motion. And the answer to what happens now is actually surprisingly fascinating. From his funeral process to how do they elect the next pope, 15 to 20 days after the pope's passing, the intense process of choosing the next pope will begin. And I say intense because high-ranking officials from the Catholic Church from around the world, known as cardinals, will all make their way to Rome to go into what's called a conclave. Now this part's pretty cool because the word conclave itself comes from the Latin word cum clave, meaning, okay, with a key. This does have a point. I know. When anyone says, goes into the Latin meaning, I'm like switching off, but I promise you, lock in. So that word is actually a nod to the old practice of locking these Catholic officials away until they made a decision. And that tradition began in the 13th century after one of these elections dragged on for nearly 3 years. And so the people in the town were pissed off and they were like, that's it. So they actually locked the cardinals in, removed the roof, and they said, you're not coming out until you make a decision. And so fast forward to today, the conclaves still have that same sort of spirit of seclusion. They all go inside the Sistine Chapel and they all completely cut off communications from the outside world. There's no phones allowed, no internet, no news. And it's all to ensure that the deliberations and the decisions are guided only by prayer and discussion. There will apparently be around 120 cardinals, and paper ballots are passed to each of them, and they then write the name of their chosen candidate. Once they're done, each cardinal, in order of seniority, let's go with that. They walk to the altar and then they fold the paper up and they place it in a chalice. The votes are then counted and the results are read out. Now the winner basically has to get 2/3 of the votes, which doesn't happen the first time. Now if one of them receives 2/3 of all of the votes, he then becomes the pope. And I say he because women are not allowed to become popes in the church. It kind of goes without saying, but this normally doesn't happen the first time around. So they're allowed like 4 votes a day. And each time, and this is the important one, each time they burn the ballots. So if a pope hasn't been...
Okay, this is the important part. This is going to explain the white smoke, black smoke.
Agreed on with that ballot, they burn it and the smoke turns black and that comes out a chimney, right? However, if they burn it and then the smoke turns white, that means to the world that a pope has been chosen. So apparently because of this, news companies will literally have their cameras fixed.
All right, guys, and Mr. Page goes on to say that there are news crews, camera crews, all of that, even Catholics, nuns, all of that, even the people locally, people travel there and their eyes stay locked on the building for days, waiting to see what color smoke will come out. Has a decision been reached? And he did say it never happens the first time. So, but today on May the 8th, 2025, on Thursday, an American Pope has been chosen. So we're going to take a look at that footage and let's get to it.
Questa è la pace di Cristo risorto, una pace disarmata e una pace disarmante, umile e perseverante. Proviene da Dio, Dio che ci ama a tutti incondizionalmente. Ancora conserviamo nei nostri orecchi quella voce debole ma sempre coraggiosa di Papa Francesco che benediva Roma. Il Papa che benediva Roma dava la sua benedizione al mondo intero, quella mattina del giorno di Pasqua. Consentitemi di dar seguito a quella stessa benedizione. Dio ci vuole bene, Dio vi ama tutti e il male non prevarrà. Siamo tutti nelle mani di Dio.